This man literally embodied Michael Myers' characteristics, look, mask, overhauls, weapon he used, everything. This how psychotic this man is. Bruh, on top of that, when the police come to interrogate him and ask him questions, there's no remorse. Look!
Parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
March 1st of 2021, in a small town in Colorado called Grand Junction, a lady named Terry Cohee made one of the most chilling and scariest discovery in her kid bedroom. Brian Cohee Jr. Let's go back just a little bit. This lady ran a home daycare taking care of kids out of her house. When she went to go clean up Brian Cohee Jr. room, which is a 19-year-old borderline man, she made probably the most ridiculous and craziest discoveries ever. She found a double-layer bag, and when she opened it, it was a human decapitated head in there.
A whole head.
You gotta imagine how she felt. She had a house full of kids in here. And before she could process what was going on or even call the police or anything, the first thing she did was get on the phone and call all these parents to please come pick up your kids right now. And she couldn't explain why.
Get her business over with.
And this is the call she made to the police directly after that last kid was gone.
911 is John. What's the address emergency?
Hi, there is an emergency. I found something in my son's closet wrapped in a plastic bag.
Okay, what was it?
I think it's a human head.
It's a what?
I think it's a human head.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it looks like it's all an ear.
Is it bloody or does it like anything like that?
Can you just come? Do I have to take a picture and send it to you?
What's the address? Is your son there now?
He just pulled up. We wanted to make sure he was here before we called.
How old is he?
19. He's had a little bit of a fascination with the morbid, but he was channeling it, I thought, into becoming a crime scene investigator, but not so much.
Do you think he's going to be cooperative with us?
I don't know. I don't think he'll be violent.
Okay.
Just came back from his friend's house.
Does he have any weapons in his room, or do you guys have any in the house?
I don't know. I think that he has a shotgun, but we can certainly remove it immediately before he gets in his room. He's out by the car now, so.
Is the bag still in the closet?
No, it's in my kitchen sink. And there's a secondary bag that I have not opened. It's currently covered with a towel.
And there's a second bag?
There's a second bag, though I don't know what's in it. I didn't open it.
I'm sorry. Did he take the second bag out of the closet?
I took the second bag out of the closet and put it in the sink.
Where's Brian now?
I think he's still outside.
And you're in the backyard now?
I am, yes, because I don't want him to hear me.
So February 28th, the night before the phone call that his mother made to the police, Brian Cohee actually got his car stuck in the Colorado River.
And his excuse to the police and his parents was, why his car was stuck, I'm just a stupid teenager. I came out here to get some fresh air, just to relax and reflect on, all the nonsense excuse, when actually he pulled up to this river for a whole nother reason.
He backed up on this boat ramp, dumped the body out to a man named Warren Barnes. He was 69 years old at the time and homeless. So he thought it was the perfect perpetrator to execute his unaliving on for whatever psychotic reasons that he wanted to do it for. And the police, he says it in the interrogation, wouldn't worry about a homeless person missing.
Listen, but that night, before we play the clip, that particular night, the police did slip. Because as you're going to see, when the tow truck finally came to pull this car out the river, the police noticed blood was on the bumper, like smeared blood was on the bumper. And instead of him pressing the issue more and more and more,
Brian Cohee and his family done made it to the house by the time the tow truck got the car out. So when they did ask him about the blood, they called, hey, make sure your son's okay. Is he cut? Is he hurt? You can hear him in the background telling, no, he's telling his mom, I'm fine, I'm not hurt. That's theatrical blood that they use in theater for school. That's literally what he told the police. And they didn't investigate it anymore. I don't want to get into like susceptible reasoning. If he would have been a black man, what would have happened? But you know what I'm saying?
Real now, because they just let this man and his family walk after seeing what he believed to be blood on this bumper, and you at a river in the middle of the night.
This your son right here? Yep. Hey, partner, you want to come out and talk to me real quick?
Sure.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm really cold. Is it okay if it's in here? Because
That's fine.
Because he had
Okay, that's fine. I did not know that. No, please stay in the car. Yeah. All right. Nobody else in the car?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
no, just us. I'm the father. That's the mother, and this is our son. He just called us 20 minutes ago and said, "Dad, I parked at the boat ramp and I messed up. I tried to get out of the car and it slid down."
Well, you're not hurt, right? You're okay?
no, just a little cold is all.
Just beside your pride a little bit.
And probably $7,000.
Okay. All right, man. Do you have your ID with you, driver's license by any chance?
Thankfully,
What were you doing down here, bud?
well, I felt like I needed to get out, and I figured, why not park here and just
relax a little bit?
relax and think.
Okay.
And I parked on the boat ramp,
Okay.
and I thought it would be easy to get out.
Uh-huh.
But when I tried to,
Where did you park exactly? Were you down the hill a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
And then
When he got back in, go ahead.
when I got back in, I tried to put it in drive, and it didn't go up. So then I tried putting it in low gear, shimmying it a bit. That didn't work.
Were you facing down?
No,
at
I
this
was
point, or were
facing.
you
I was
facing
facing
this way?
up.
You back down?
Yeah.
Really good
Because
idea.
that's-
It's a predicament so ridiculous that the responding officers can't help but laugh.
How we're gonna handle this, man? 'Cause I don't know. Do I get a tow going for a car in the river and see if anybody will take this?
I'm gonna work on that.
I don't know, man. So I'm kind of glad you were coming down here because I was like, it's not a crash. He just
Dude, it's like
parked
8 feet
it
out in the water.
He parked it and basically couldn't get it up. It just lost traction, looks like, and then he actually went in it down in the water. He's not hurt at all. So I'm like, how are you gonna get this car out if possible?
I don't know.
And as you can see from that last clip, in my opinion and his opinion, the police kind of fumbled that rock.
They did.
How you see blood on a bumper in the middle of the night at a river and not go deeper into that?
Yep.
And you just leave it be. So the pops was the reason why this whole investigation got started. The next day, once the car was home, he was finna salvage the car because pretty much it got flooded out from the water. Went through his son's car. The dad name is Brian.
They're trying to clean it before they salvage the car.
So Mr. Brian Cohee Sr., the father, found like a 12-inch knife in there, 3 layers of gloves, but the main thing he found was a wallet.
Warren Barnes' wallet himself.
And also another card with a temp service called People Ready. So he took his time to call down to the People Ready, was like, hey, I got this dude wallet that I think.
He asked his son first.
Yeah, he did, yes.
And his son was like, I don't know no Warren Barnes. He's like, the only Warren I know is in school with me, and he don't look nothing like that.
Nah, and he told his dad that he just found the wallet at the Blue Heron River.
Yeah.
But the dad said he felt something suspicious about the whole situation because, as you're gonna see, the Brian Cohee Jr., the son, is pretty. He was diagnosed with ADHD, autism. So it was kind of.
We'll get into his history in a minute.
The dad, being who he was, which was a great call, he actually called the other car called a People Ready Temp Services, a place where Warren worked at, and was like, "Hey, I have this dude wallet that he might have lost at the Blue Heron River. I don't know if he would be down there, but hey, what do you want me to do with this?" The lady was like, "Well, he's been missing."
How do you know Warren?
I own Monique's Bridal downtown, and I give him a chair to sit and read his books.
When was the last time you saw him?
Saturday, 5 o'clock. I said, I'll see you tomorrow, Warren, and he was like, okay, meaning he planned on coming down on Sunday, and then he did not show up. So I'm thinking if they saw him Saturday, maybe it happened more up there because it's weird. He would never come down here. He would never come all the way down here.
He doesn't have a camp down here or anything?
No, he worked for People Ready, and someone found the wallet and called People Ready this morning, and they said that everything looked like it was in there because he doesn't have much. And I just gave him $20 for beer, so I know that he had maybe a couple bucks.
So they found his wallet just down here at the boat ramp?
So why did you, what raised concern with you today to report him missing?
Because the place people already called to see if I had seen him because he didn't show up for work, and he's never once not shown up for work in the 4 years he's been working for them. So I said no, and that I hadn't seen him since Saturday.
He was camping down here?
No.
She's never seen or heard of him being down here.
That's why I'm freaked out, because there's no way he walked all the way down here and his wallet just
So, in how many years?
4 years. Yeah, that's as long as I've known him.
He literally shows up every morning, every day without fail, like at 6 o'clock, sometimes a little sooner. And we always let him in before the customers. We give him free coffee. He's the nicest old man ever.
Do you talk to him at all?
All the time. Hey,
so
good.
every morning it's around 6?
Yeah.
Without fail?
Without fail. And he's the nicest guy ever. Rough looking, but he is the nicest guy.
So who found his wallet down here?
The lady from the place said that it was whoever runs the life jacket thingy.
I'm actually the owner of the life jacket program on the boat ramp here.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I hope you guys find him. I hope he's okay. If anything, I just hope we find him so that we can start the next process of whatever. Because I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling.
Something had to happen because he's there every day at a certain time reading books. Every single day.
And these people know this man. This is his exact routine on a daily basis. So these ladies called the police ASAP and was like, hey, something's not right. This dude is missing. But as more details came out, what drew the father suspicious even more, he even see blood smears on the door handle. When he was able to examine the car more. And that's when he
went back out there this morning just to continue. And I opened the glove box, and there was a knife in the glove box, underwater. The glove box is full of water. Very large knife. And then, as I go around the passenger door, I open the passenger door, and there's a wallet in between this door and I open up. That's not Brian's wallet. It's frozen solid. That's not Brian's wallet. So I take it inside, and I end up getting one of the wallets of cards out, and it's a labor ready. I read that, so I called labor ready. And then another one, there was a social security card. I was like, hey, this is a weird call. But I've got a wallet here with so-and-so's name, and I'm hoping he works for you all, or you subbed him out or whatever. Oh, yeah, my one, we've been missing him. Yes, he didn't show up today. I'm like, oh, my God, now we've got a missing person. Okay, well, I found his wallet at Blue Hen Boat Ramp. So here's my name. Here's all my information. If you get a hold of him, tell him I've got his wallet here at my house. Okay, so I left that like that. Called Brian. Brian, what's going on? Why is there a wallet in the car? Oh, I found it down at the boat ramp when I was down there walking around. And he was so sincere. I took it all. I want to believe him. This is my son. Sure. We found out, Brian, how come, and all this going on in the last 2 days, how come you didn't tell us about the wallet? Dad, I was just so excited with all the going on. My car getting towed. Look at this wet now. It won't start. I just didn't think about it. I didn't think it was important, Dad. I'm like, Brian, who is this one, whatever guy? Dad, I swear to you, I only know one more, and he's my school friend. It's not him. I believe him. There's blood on the bumper. Right. I'm like a smear of blood. And I'm like, that didn't come from that car.
Called the mom, told the mom. His mom went into the room to do a cleanup. And everything came to the light just that quick.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Cooperate. I am going to cooperate.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Do you have anything on you that's going to cut, poke, hurt, stick me anything without reaching for nothing? Don't reach for nothing.
My phone and my wallet, that's
okay.
it.
Well, I'm going to have you face that way. Put your hands on top of your head for me real quick. I just want to make sure you interlace your fingers for me real quick, all right? I'm going to have you walk over here. You're going to sit in the back of my partner's patrol car for a minute, okay? Not yet. Okay. Just sit back there and hang out for me, okay? Can you walk me inside, please?
Let's walk you off through this, what happened in the very beginning.
Okay.
Let me do it. You go inside.
Well, let's stay out here with me for a minute.
Sit down. Come on, sit down, baby.
Can I go in there and verify here first?
Oh, yeah, please. We haven't seen it. Yeah, we haven't
looked
at it. It's under the towel in the sink.
Okay.
Yeah, Annie, stay with your mother. Give her
just make sure that guy goes in the car first.
I can stay here. You can go in the sink, right?
Well,
the sink
okay.
right there. No, anything. House is empty.
Okay.
We just had a bag feeling about what happened this weekend.
Okay.
And she said there's a bag in this closet, and she opened it up. And she called me and said, get over here right now.
And as y'all can see, the Michael Myers demeanor in this kid is for real, because he literally showed no remorse. He knew exactly what the police came for, and he showed nothing. But what made this even more chilling and worse is when he admitted to the police in the interrogation room about the details of how he unalived this homeless man and why he did it. We're not going to take the details ourselves because he explained it his best, and you're going to see some of the psychopathicness in this kid to where he showed no remorse. And even at times throughout the interrogation, after him explaining what he did, he seemed like he was happy about it. Proud,
he was excited,
laughing and smiling, just.
Bro, you said the right word. No remorse in this kid.
To start back at the beginning and go slow and tell me as many details as you can remember.
So, because I mean, Murray going to jail for the 15 years probably.
I have no idea.
Because
we're at the beginning.
It's murder. I mean, I'm going to jail for 20 probably, but I figured why fight it?
Okay. So what's important to me is to learn as much about you and what you did and as I can. Well, as many details as you can give me, the better. So we were at the bridge.
Yes, I was at the bridge. I was cruising. There was a road underneath, right? Under the overpass. And I was driving along, and I see a shape here on the railway track. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So I go up, and as I'm looking, I see a large thing wrapped in a canvas.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a homeless person. So I grab my knife, I put on 3 layers of gloves, because plastic gloves can betray their users because they're so thin, the vinyl gloves, by putting your fingerprints through. So I put on 3 on one hand. I took the knife, I pulled back the canvas, and I stabbed his neck.
Okay.
He was panicking at first in his old man voice. He was in his 50s. I know why I call him old man. He was saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Ah!" And I just kept on stabbing his neck. Is it okay if I do a demonstration?
Oh, yeah.
This is him. I was straddled on top of him like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's going to be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy. And during the time, I was growling and making animalistic noises. The whole ordeal lasted about a minute and a half.
Okay.
And when I was finished stabbing him, he took out his last breath, a grunt, and his head was halfway cut off in stabs. All the while, no, actually, after I killed him, I just couldn't stop saying, stinky, dirty, dirty, stinky, stinky. I wasn't smelling anything, but...
And why were you saying that?
I don't know.
Okay. But you remember doing it, so...
Yeah. I suppose it was just me speaking out my mind at that moment. It was like pouring out of the mind.
Were you worried about, I mean, this looks like it's pretty close to the road and stuff. Somebody seeing you or catching you?
It was 11 p.m., so not many were driving by. Well, it was behind the pillar. So, like, here's the road. It was here. So people would only see a brief thing here and here.
So were you worried about them seeing you?
I was worried about one of them stopping.
What did you think could happen if somebody...
Well, if they looked, well, it was quite dark under there, so they wouldn't have seen the guy unless they looked. They would have seen me holding a bloody 12-inch knife, wearing gloves, and wearing a mask to conceal my identity, a face mask.
Okay. So you weren't doing it for COVID, you were doing it to hide your face?
Partially. Social distancing. Right. Yeah, but no one stopped. And I'm just like, proves the bystander effect.
I noticed you got a cut on your hand. Is that from...
Oh, that was when I was doing gas, when I filled up. What happened was, because I don't want to be seen in a gas station with a knife poking out of my pocket, I put it in the car on the back seat floor. When I'm done with it, I try and grab it, but my hand slips and grabs the blade, and as I pick it up, it slices these 2 fingers.
Okay.
And then, let's see. Yeah. And then, after that, I stripped his clothes. I cut open his belly. You can see his guts. They're really pink. sorry, that was morbid. Destroyed his eyes by stabbing them.
Okay.
And then I cut off his hands. I put those in plastic Ziploc bags. And then I cut off his right arm at this joint and at this joint. And then at this arm, I tried cutting it here, and then I tried cutting it here. But what happened was I accidentally broke his bone. This one, it was poking out. And so I left that one here, partially cut, dismembered here, bone sticking out. And then I left his body there. And then I took the head, put it in a leftover pizza box from the dinner a few nights ago. And then I took the hands, put them in the back, drove home, hid the hands and head in my room, cleaned the knife, threw away the garbage with the blood on it, and then put the blood stained, wasn't stained, it had splatters on it. I put it in the dish, in the washing machine.
What did you put in there?
I put the outfit I murdered him in the washing.
Wearing, or?
Yeah, I was wearing.
Okay.
In our washing machine, put it on high speed so it would effectively remove the blood. Washed it twice.
I can back up just so I don't lose track of where my mind is. So you cut him open, did you cut his arms off, his hands off, all that before you went home?
Yeah, before I went home, I tossed the arm bits around. Like I took the right arm bit, threw it out, took the left arm bit, threw it out.
So it's somewhere around that bridge?
Yeah, but look in a, because I know crime scenes can be a very wide area.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to look in a 10-foot area. So like, this is a zoom in. So here's the road. And here's where my car was parked. His corpse is here, 2 pieces of arm. This section and this section, just in this general area. I couldn't say where they are.
You took, was it the head and the hands? Mm-hmm. And what did you put them in?
Well, there's a 3 rule for bodies. I like to call it the 3 rule.
Okay, tell me about that.
3 days, the body starts to stink. No, 3 hours, rigor mortis sets in, the body stiffens. 3 days, the body starts to stink because of decomposition.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks, the body is starting to seriously decompose.
Right.
3 months, the body is unrecognizable. 3 years, it turns into a skeleton.
And may I ask how you know that?
I've always had a fascination with forensics and with anatomy and physiology. That's something I made up. So that's something I don't want to sound like I'm inventing something. But that's why I coined the 3 rule.
You kind of remember it that way.
Yeah.
That's your way of remembering.
Is it accurate?
Well, somewhat. So, yeah, so what did you have the head and the hands at your house?
The head, I put, because it was starting to stink, I was planning on throwing the head and hands away. Not in the trash bag, not in the kitchen trash, but they were both in trash bags. The head was in a trash bag, I tied up the trash bag. Hands, I put in a trash bag as well. They were in Ziploc bags. And I was planning, do they sell empty paint buckets? Mm-hmm. I was planning to buy an empty paint bucket, put the head in it, seal it, and then I was going to throw it off in some dish.
Okay.
The hands I would throw in a different spot, wherever.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I have it right. The head is inside of a trash bag.
It was.
Well, where is it now?
In the kitchen sink. My parents searched through my room and they found the head and hands.
Okay, and so are the head and the hands in the kitchen sink now?
Last time I checked.
Okay, so they're in the kitchen sink now because your parents put them there.
But they were in my closet.
What exact kind of trash bag?
White.
White, like a kitchen one, or what? Like
a kitchen.
Okay, white kitchen.
That you put in a trash can.
Yeah, and then what about the hands? They were inside Ziplocs, you said.
Both in a different trash bag.
Okay, the white kitchen trash bag.
Yes.
But now they're in the kitchen sink.
Yes.
And you talked about cutting. I used to be a meat cutter. I know it's not easy just to cut off hands.
Oh yeah, it was with the knife. I was just.
So did you practice on anything else?
No.
Or how did you know how to do it?
No, I just going along as a process. The bones, I just pressed the blade down and went, sever them at the ligaments.
Okay. And how hard was it to do that? To get them actually?
Not particularly hard. I was just more frustrated that I broke this bone.
So if you hadn't got frustrated, what was your... I mean, it sounds like what you did, we know. Did you have a different plan?
The original, because I always wanted to know what it felt like to cut up someone.
Okay.
So just...
So why did you stop? Why did you stop?
Because the arms were just... That's it. And that's all I wanted to know was like cutting off a limb. And I'm just like,
okay. And you said you studied criminology and forensics and all that?
Not college study or school study. It's like a passing interest.
I understand. But what were you worried about, like leaving evidence behind or being caught?
Totally.
Tell me about that and what you did then.
Well, I was figuring the police don't... This is not to be taken offense, but police, they don't seem to care as much about high-risk individuals, homeless people, prostitutes, etc. So I was deliberately looking for someone who lived that type of life.
Okay.
And I found a homeless person, and the original goal was just leave him there. But I was worried about the fibers on the outfit I was wearing that would be on his clothes and stuff. So I deliberately messed up the clothes.
So how long have you been planning or looking for someone to do this with before you found this guy?
About a year.
About a year?
No, 6 months.
So you come close or seen somebody or chickened out or anything in the past?
No. I mean, I was looking for a deliberately secluded place like that one. I wouldn't just go up in Clifton and find someone walking down the street and stab them. No, that's too public. Everyone sees that.
Well, have you looked like at the homeless places or anything in the past?
I have, yes. I would go on night drives often, maybe once every 2 weeks. Now just peruse the streets.
So before this guy, how close had you come in the past?
Not at all.
Not at all? You just drive around? And...
Yeah, look, just try and find
Is anybody interesting? And
no.
In your mind thought of a plan?
Well, occasionally when you see girls walking down the street, I take a glance at them because it really is like Ed Kemper where half of me says, well, I'm quite inept with women. I'm being honest, I'm no Casanova. But half of me says, I want to take that girl home and make her feel nice. And the other half of me, it's just like what Ed said, is I want to see what her head looks like on a stick.
You say you have a major depressive disorder? I'm just curious what those are.
Well, actually, I have several. I have high-functioning Asperger's. I have ADHD, and major depressive disorder.
Okay.
Major depressive, so you were wondering what that last one is?
Yeah, I know what they are. I was curious, what the exact diagnosis was and who diagnosed them.
They tested me for autism for a formal diagnosis, like Asperger's, which is high-functioning autism.
Yep.
And they also said I was schizo something. That isn't me misremembering. They just said you're schizo something, whether that be schizophrenia, schizoaffective, schizotypal, or schizoid disorder. They said I had something that was schizo. I was never formally diagnosed with anything like that.
Do you feel like you had that?
I don't know. Impossible to tell. Self-diagnosing is foolish.
Yeah. But do schizophrenia is pretty clear because people recognize they have a different personality in there.
I don't have any hallucinations.
Okay.
I had delusions, I guess.
Okay.
Like years ago, I thought I was obsessed with people staring at me. Okay. Like I felt people watching me from every window. The birds were looking at me, watching me.
Okay.
For greater purpose. That was a delusion, I suppose.
Right. But you don't have times where you feel like another personality is in your body?
No,
you remember all this.
That's dissociative identity disorder.
Right.
Schizophrenia is.
Well, you have multiple people talking to you at the same time, kind of a thing.
No one was talking to me.
Okay.
What do you think would happen if you got caught?
Well, I figured my mother would have confronted me about it, but no, she didn't even say it.
Do you know who the person was that you killed?
No. I took his wallet. I didn't look at it. I just picked it up, briefly scanned over it, and put it in my car. Apparently, it was Warren. My mom told me this before she found out that the missing person was Warren Brown, born in 1963.
So we talked about the stuff there we're going to go look for. Your mom's house in the sink, apparently.
Yeah.
The knife is where?
My dad found it in the glove box. I don't know where it is.
Okay.
You don't find any blood or anything on it. I cleaned it. All his belongings, except for his wallet, are right here.
And his head in his hands.
His head and his hands are at the house.
Any reason you were wearing dark blue one-piece jumpers?
You know the movie Halloween, Michael Myers?
Mm-hmm.
He wears one of those, and for Halloween last year, I bought that as a costume to find the mask in my room.
Okay.
And I just associated that piece of that article of clothing with violence. That's why I was wearing it.
That night?
Yes.
Have you ever done it before?
No.
Okay. You gotta ask, right?
Yeah.
How about animals? Have you practiced on anything?
Yes.
It's pretty big stuff.
Tell us about that.
It was 2018 Halloween. A stray black cat had been coming around our house. This was before I moved into my mom's. This was at my dad's. And I was thinking about killing it.
The video is redacted in this part, but the transcript from the sheriff's office says that Brian told detectives that he herded the cat into a sleeping bag and beat it, strangled it, and snapped its neck. He then decapitated the cat, hid the body in a shoebox, and hid the head in a wine cork box. It seems clear that Brian has a sick interest in decapitation. There are chilling parallels between what he did to the cat and to Warren, including decapitation and keeping the heads in boxes. Both times he preyed on those he knew were vulnerable and that he believed no one would notice.
And then I disposed it in the trash and got away with it.
Okay.
That cat.
Did you keep him for a while like you did this guy, or?
I kept it for 3 days. Then it started to stink.
So where you got the 3 days and it stinks? Cool.
Also because bacteria starts to float the body after a day to 3 days. So
it sounds like you killed a cat.
Well, actually, I was thinking of killing people during the cat, but I wasn't acting on it. But I started seriously thinking about killing people a year ago.
How about when you were 12? Did you think about killing?
No.
So what in your life has changed, or what in your mind has changed to make you?
I don't know.
Was it like something all of a sudden one day you woke up and thought I'll kill someone, or was it a gradual?
It was gradual, I think.
So tell me about when those thoughts first started happening.
Well, in high school last year, my parents found a kit I had been assembling. It had hammers, shovels, knives, large zip ties, duct tape, saw. That was meant for hurting people. They found it though, and I had convinced them it was for other methods, for other things. And it was an ultimatum where if I didn't throw it away, all that, they would call the police. And then I would have been arrested on charges of conspiracy. That was last year, before Halloween.
So what made you put that kit together?
That was for nights like that.
So back then you were thinking about doing that too?
Yes. So that was $100 thrown away.
I'm really curious, when you talked about the hammer and the shovels and the knives and like the zip ties, I mean, what was kind of your plan then? That's a little bit different than you did this time.
Oh, yeah.
So what was the plan back then?
The plan was to go find, because there's no prostitutes in Grand Junction, I don't think. Have you ever had any sex crimes?
Yeah. There's not prostitutes like 5 of them standing along the side of the road, but there's prostitutes in Grand Junction.
Yeah, the plan was to go with one of them and have them come with me. And then the plan was to subdue them and tie them up and then torture her.
So what made you not go back to the same plan and get, if you kind of had that as a plan?
Would I have been caught?
Well, I don't know. My point is, if your folks, your mom found your stuff, right?
Yes.
And got rid of it. Why didn't you go back to that plan? Why change plans?
Too much risky. First time in a row, they'll be like, okay, that's really suspicious, but okay, we forgive you, don't do it again.
Okay.
Second time in a row, we're calling the police on you. I didn't want to do that again.
Okay, fair enough.
Risk.
And so they didn't call the police?
No, because they gave me an ultimatum, have them throw it all away or call the police. So I threw it all away. But I was worried that because there was a hole in my gloves right here. I was worried that they would be able to obtain a partial print, so I figured, why not go all the way? I drove back in a different outfit, picked up his body, surprisingly heavy, put it in my trunk, and drove to the Blue Heron drop-off station. I parked, so it's like this, right? So let's say this is ground. The ramp is quite steep, and you need to have four-wheel drive to pull out of it.
Okay.
And my car didn't. So I pull in. I thought that I could drive out because I put it in reverse, A, so that it's easier to pull the body out, and B, because the back tires would provide propulsion to push up.
Right.
And I open the trunk, I take his body out, I put it in the water, and because I don't want fingerprints on a body, so I just try moving it with my shoes. That works successfully. He goes out some part in the river and floats off.
Okay.
God knows where he is now. Maybe a he. He's dead.
Still a he.
Okay, yeah. God knows where he is now. I think my guess was that it would be discovered this morning or next morning, so keep an eye out for any river-related activity.
Okay.
River-related activity.
Okay.
To inevitably drive out.
Yeah.
My car didn't come out.
From Blue Heron.
Yeah, from Blue Heron.
Yeah.
My car was stuck. I tried putting it full throttle.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. My car doesn't have four-wheel drive. Stupid me.
Okay.
And so then I tried putting it in low gear. I'm trying everything with this.
Right.
And it still doesn't come out. And then it slides into the river.
Oh.
My car slides into the river, me inside. And so I'm there in a car quickly being flooded with water.
Okay.
It is the middle of February.
It's cold.
At night.
Yeah.
In the river that's almost freezing.
Yes.
I'm drenched. I almost died. So I'm able to climb out. I don't see the body, so I assumed it's traveled a bit.
Okay.
I come up, and I'm sitting there. I need to act fast or else I'll die of hypothermia. I'm panicking a bit at this point. I'm going to be like, this is what I'm going to be remembered for, dying of hypothermia and a botched attempt at hiding a body. And I'm just like,
and what did you tell your parents? I mean, you obviously, got to tell them something. The car's in the river.
Yeah. So what I say is, I feel like I need to get out. I often do. I feel like I need to get out. Hear my thoughts. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd say that I drive down to the Blue Heron Point and just park and just turn off the car and think. And I tell them that I'm stupid and I park too low. And then my car slides in the river.
Okay. Did they believe you?
Yes. And then the police came. I didn't do a breathalyzer test because I wasn't drinking.
When did it the police or the sheriff that
It was the police.
Okay.
However, what immediately caught the police's attention is blood from the body was on the reverse bumper. I forgot to wipe it off. And I was so panicked that I wasn't thinking. And so when they pull it out, they immediately see blood on the bumper. And they're all thinking, we'd really like to get in this trunk. Fools. There is nothing in the trunk.
Okay. And that happened this morning?
No, they noticed it after I'd been sent home at 3 a.m.
Okay.
They noticed the blood. But yeah, this morning they noticed more blood on the door handle, the other door handle, passenger one, and also the multi-layered gloves in the car. I took them out, and obviously my car went in the river before I was able to throw them away.
Sure. So did the cops talk to you guys about that this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Did the cops from the police department, did they talk to you about that this morning?
No, I was not contacted.
Oh.
All they were planning to do with me today is get my insurance information.
Sure.
And they were still curious about the blood.
Did they ask you about that?
No, because they did not notice it while I was still there.
So when you say they were curious about the blood, how do you know that they were curious?
Because my parents told me.
Oh.
They saw the blood too, and they were curious, but I said, I don't know where the blood came from. They thought maybe it was just cuts, but obviously a cut doesn't produce that much blood. And they said maybe it was the recovering abscess under my arm, but that's scabbed up. So they didn't know what to believe this day because it's blood, it's sticky, it's sinewy, but I can't name a source. So they were just a tiny bit curious.
Yeah.
Not tiny bit, they were curious.
Yeah.
And I was worried about just how long it would take to find him because it's a somewhat traveled road. Police have a nose for that type of thing. They're trained to be able to identify the smell of a corpse. And obviously that was botched. I read books. I have a book on forensics.
Okay. Did you read the book, the Ted Bundy book?
No, it was on the internet.
Yeah, okay. All right. And Pete has studied him too. Yeah, you know, so.
Crazy. Do you know who Ed Gain? No, Ed in California. Yeah. Ed Kemper. Yeah. Studied him? I know of him. He was a Goliath. He was 6'9", 200 pounds. So can I ask you a question? Almost all those people did this for some sort of, whether they had sex with the body or it was some sexual gratification in their mind? Criminology, there's different types of, I'm not a serial killer by no means, but with serial killers, there's different types of them. There's organized, disorganized, visionary, missionary. I'm just wondering what gets you excited about doing it? Well, I'm not really sexually attracted to it. Okay. I was just asking. So I'm curious about the cutting him up, taking parts of him home. Have you ever thought about, so it sounds like you've had like Ted Bundy, sex type stuff. Ed Kemper just kill people because you want to kill somebody, plus the sex stuff. How about Jeffrey Dahmer? It wasn't really inspired by it. It was just more. I'm just trying to think of all the people these people can do it, so can I. He see you. No, he was not woken up until I pulled the sheets back. I know this is going to be really fast. You pulled the sheets back. And before you stabbed him, did he see you? No. And I pulled the sheets back. I get on him like a knee, and then stab him. And he wakes up. He's, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get off me. And I think you stabbed him anywhere besides, I know you said the neck a lot of times. How many times do you think? Did you count? No. I was going until he stopped. Okay, how many? Just your best idea how many times? 30 or 40. Okay. So neck, besides cutting his arms off? Well, actually, it was a general assault. I was mainly targeting his neck because that's the most vulnerable area. I was stabbing his head, anywhere in that general area. I stabbed his head multiple times. How about his chest, his stomach? His chest, I stabbed once through the ribs. Which hand were you using? Right hand. It was his right ribs, and I just went. I sliced open his belly, carved up his leg. Not like I just made several slices at his leg. Why did you do that? I was just doing everything I thought of at the moment. Then I cut off his head. I gave him a Glasgow smile. What's that? A Joker smile. Why were you doing that? I suppose it was a frenzy. I was so excited, so rushed up on adrenaline every day. It was just, woo! And I paused, and he said, why are you doing this? And I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So let's talk about before you were sure he was dead. Where else did you stab him before he was dead? Nowhere but the head and neck. Okay. When did you stab him in the chest? After he perished. Okay, and how did you know he perished? He let out a final gasp. Okay. And he wasn't fighting later on. He was losing too much energy, blood loss. Okay. And he just finally gasped, and I needed to make sure, peace of mind, so I decapitated him, partially as for the hell of it. So let's try to go step by step. You said you stabbed him in the neck and the head while he was alive. Yes, I paused. We had a conversation where he said, why are you doing this? And I said, I felt like doing this for a long time. I continued. He died, deceased, whatever you want to call it. And then I stabbed his ribs, opened up his belly, sliced his leg multiple times. Okay. Derobed him, and then decapitated him, removed his hands, his joints. Did you derobe him before or after you opened his belly? After I opened his belly. So you cut through his clothes to open? No, I lifted up his shirt and just... Okay. Which way did you go? Like a deer this way or like this way? No, this way across his belly. Okay. You didn't see his heart or anything? No, he was very thin. I thought about taking out... What else do you think you saw? What do I think? Internally, what did you see? I saw his liver, his large and small intestine, and that's it. Some of it was yellow. I was thinking about taking out his heart. I was thinking about crushing the ribs and disemboweling him entirely. Okay. Did you disembowel him at all, or just cut him open? I cut him open, but his organs spilled out by themselves when I was dumping him. Anything else? Did you take anything besides his head? Like anything internally? No. And how did you know it was his liver? I mean, you ever go hunting, or how do you know it's somebody's liver when you open them up? It's dark, purple, brownish. Okay. It's large. up here. I just knew it was, I've taken anatomy and physiology, so I knew it was his
That makes sense. I was just curious if you've never seen one before, you're just guessing, or how you know.
I've seen some.
Did you take any pictures that night?
Yes, but I deleted them. Entirely.
Where did you take pictures?
After I killed him, I took a picture of him, his hands, but I deleted all those because those are evidence. Okay. I don't know if you can find them, but...
When you say you deleted them entirely, that's an interesting statement. What do you mean by that?
I removed them from my phone, deleted the pictures.
Okay.
Did you tell anybody about what you did before today?
No, I haven't told anyone that I committed murder. I was planning to maybe keep a finger.
Okay. You haven't got that far yet?
No.
Why finger?
It's small, not that much space. It won't smell that much.
Makes sense.
Easy to keep.
You know, Brian, I have to ask, a lot of people that we have talked with,
They're silent.
Well, or they're just not as well spoken as you are, to be honest with you. You're very articulate. You're very articulate.
I think I'm bad with words.
No, I actually think you're really articulate. And you talked about you were just kind of in a bad space that night.
It was, yes.
Okay. Why were you in a bad space?
I didn't take my medicine, and plus for years I was wondering what murder would feel like, because read Ted Bundy and the Zodiac, they all say murder is the best feeling in the world. So I'm like, I'm going to try that. So for some time I had been wondering when it would happen. I always knew I would be in this building, whether it was as a criminal or a police officer.
So, to see what it felt like, what did it feel like?
It was intense. It was a rush of adrenaline. My whole body was shaking. Not like out of fear. It was like... It wasn't fear. It was just pure... What's the word? Excitement, I suppose. Not excitement as in joy, just excitement as in increased heartbeat, sweating, that type of thing.
Like an adrenaline jump?
Yeah. Although I wasn't breaking a sweat killing the guy. It was quite easy.
Well, did you enjoy it or not enjoy it?
Did I enjoy it? I don't know. Just sort of neutral of the whole thing. I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it. If I go back that night, probably wouldn't have done it, knowing what it felt like, knowing how this will turn out. I wouldn't have done it.
What did you think it was going to feel like?
I thought it would be the best feeling in the world.
You said you didn't feel much of anything.
Excitement.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But other than that, no.
Well, let us step out and figure out where we're going next, okay?
Okay.
I think one of the main reasons why we wanted to bring this story back up to y'all, first of all, we want to shout out Explore With Us. That's another YouTube channel who really made a great documentary. So if you want a lot more information, check out their channel, Explore With Us. I want to say the video is called Parents Made a Shocking Discovery in Child's Room. Great documentary, they killed it. But when we watched that video, a lot of the comments was really bashing the parents about all the telltale signs they so-called seen that led up that they could have been acted on to probably stop from this happening, from the cats to discovering the first bag to his mental health when he was diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and like major depression. But I'm gonna keep it real. I feel like the major problem in this thing is how us as Americans in the media idolize these serial killers.
And now also sexualize them. You trying to make them like they're extremely attractive. You had Zac Efron play Ted Bundy. Come on, man.
No homo, no diddy, but come on. This is the High School Musical buffed up, ripped up Zac Efron playing a serial killer Ted Bundy.
So now you're trying to even sexualize these people.
Come on. The Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix. Come on,
but this man literally had to have idolized Michael Myers.
And he also idolized the Columbine shooters over and over again.
Oh yeah, he was reading the books. He had a fascination over school shooters for whatever obvious reasons.
And you can see this whole time throughout this whole video, throughout this whole interrogation with this guy, through everything, he was happy for what he did. He's even saying certain things to try to group himself into this kind of category of people. Like, hey, what type of time do people like us usually catch? What is it, like 15 years? Dude really thought he was going to catch 15 to 20 years for what he did, like it was just okay.
But actually caught life without parole plus 13 and a half years. I don't know if he dies and comes back to life and catches 13. Still has to do 30. I don't know how that works. But hey, man, life without parole plus 13 and a half years. But you literally got to think about this man, how psychotic he is. The whole interview, you seen how he unremorseful he was. There wasn't 1 ounce of him being upset or regretting what he did.
No, he was bragging.
At all. Then when he told him, can I go ahead and show you how I did it? Like he straddled the body and said, yeah, I don't know how many times I, hit him with the knife, but it had to be about 30 to 40 times.
He enjoyed it.
He literally said it was easy, and how he was doing it, he was excited. And then while he's describing it, he sounds excited.
As hell. He even came out during the interrogation that said, when the police asked him, how long have you been planning or thinking about unaliving another human being? He said, well, as crazy as this might seem, I think all human beings have a fantasy or a vision of shooting up a school. That's not normal thoughts. And to him, that was a normal thought. He thought everybody had, and he just not normal. This man rode around for 6 months, premeditated, looking for a homeless man to take care of, because he told the police if he unalive a homeless man, who's gonna care? Who's gonna find out? Like, it doesn't matter.
And he'll mess up.
Messed up. His first victims was gonna be prostitutes, because he felt like he asked police would they have gotten caught. They went through this man's search history. He searched up how does it feel to unalive somebody with a knife, like the fight back, the resistance, and even more stuff about different shootings of how to get away with it. He even talked about reasons why he wore 3 layers of gloves in case of one rip, because sometimes the plastic gloves or rubber gloves would betray you and still leave fingerprints. There's so much this man talked about and looked up in his search history. He delved into it. Even his families and friends were like, he used to make some of the most craziest, morbid jokes just about the craziest stuff about unaliving people and putting mercury on supermodels' lipsticks and watch them unalive slowly. And he told these things to his parents, to his friends. They was like, they took it as a joke, but the dude was mentally disturbed for real.
There's got to be something we could do in society where this isn't continuously going on, man. Because the idolizing of these psychopathic killers is crazy. Because I like haunted movies, to be honest with you, bro. I like scary movies. For whatever reason, I like them. They're entertaining. I don't be wanting to sleep with the lights off for a while after that. But for whatever reason, I like them. For whatever reason, people love murder mysteries. For whatever reason, people are entertained by this type of stuff. But to actually do it themselves, there needs to be these telltale signs, and it seems like it's a repeated history of all these social or psychopathic, whatever type of killer you frame these people in, they always start unaliving animals at a young age, or if there's signs, because how can every single teacher this man has say, he also got in trouble at school, like right before this, like multiple times. He got suspended for school for attacking another student at the bus stop. Then he got suspended again at school because he started saying real crazy stuff about sex out loud, like being very boisterous, screaming it and stuff. And like it just was a history of him keep getting into trouble. Makes me think, how would we not look like sociopathic? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. It's hard.
We committed a lot of crimes.
A lot of dumb stuff. It's hard. That's why a lot of people, they were blaming the parents. But it's kind of hard as a parent to ever say, yeah, my son will pull off something of this magnitude. Like, what parent would sit there and think, okay, my son just might be the next school shooter. It's hard to see your child as that. This is coming from a parent.
Yeah, you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe that you're not your kid.
But I'm not finna laugh. I will ever find out one of my kids was strangling cats and decapitating cats. I might be a little bit worried. You feel what I'm saying? And for them to find that bag in his room and to threaten to call the police on them, they had major suspicion. They admit they had major suspicions, but still, who would think that their child would pull off a crime of that magnitude? With all the evidence that might be in their faces, easy to say it from our point of view, but come on, man.
Which, also, think about it. Some states are starting to lock the parents up for what their kids do. So if you do have kids and they got any signs of doing this type of stuff, hey man, you might want to reach out to someone, a psychiatrist, a therapist, someone that would hopefully get him to express his ideas and what he got going on in his head before it falls back on you. At least you can say you tried to get him help, because the people that saying, I seen the signs but I ain't do nothing, they're locking them up now.
Yeah, but I do salute these parents for actually making the call. So some parents might would have tried to cover it up. Some parents probably would have went to so much shock.
That's my thing, because it's like, dang, as a parent, your sole objective of this child is to protect it.
And throughout the whole interrogation, they told the police everything that they needed to know.
Yeah, they didn't spare no
nothing
information.
back. You can see the remorse in their face, like they didn't want to, but they had to.
Especially his mama. His mama boo-hoo crying.
Yeah, man, it was hurtful. But the dad, I think the dad had more suspicions from the beginning, because he always, he felt like Jit was a little bit psych, but he was diagnosed with some things. He wasn't able to plead insanity or nothing. He tried all them different pleas, but it didn't work. Like I said, he caught life without parole, plus 13. And yeah, if you watch the channel Explore With Us, they go into way more details, and this is crazy right now. It's a crazy story. Sad story, crazy story.
Lower recidivism.
Big time.
Stay out of jail. Stay out of prison. Don't commit crimes. Stay safe.
Mental health is a serious thing.